Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome in this new webinar series. This is already the third webinar series we organize in the scope of the CEV school project. To remind you, this project is aimed to enhance the knowledge and the skills of the volleyball coaches and teachers working with kids and pupils all over Europe. We will have together 3 sessions, one today, the second one on Monday, 14 December, and the third one on next Thursday, the 17th of December. Today, for the first session, we have with us as a speaker, Kristof DE LOOSE from Belgium. People who already attended the previous webinar series and the people already involved in the school project, for sure they know him, and they know that his creativity is limitless, and it's exactly what we want him to present you today, that despite this very difficult situation now with the COVID, there is still a way to play volleyball, to practice, and this in many different and creative ways. And I'm very pleased now to give the floor to our Belgian friend, Kristof.
Okay, good afternoon to you all. I will share my screen so we can start. So, today, I hope that you are all in good health, that everything is okay with you. Normally, you will see now my screen, and then we can start volley at home. Stay positive. Stay positive because there will be better days, there will be better times. So it's nice to see you all. I see some familiar faces, of course, Francois and Katrina, but also guys like Joe Vesna, etc., etc. So thank you for attending this webinar. So I want to talk you today about the consequences of Corona. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to stay positive. And to stay positive, I want to talk about the different challenges we have. And the main part, the main item will be our new project in Belgium, and that's called Volley at Home. So let's start with the consequences of Corona. The problem in Belgium, but also in a lot of other countries, is there is no more competition. In Belgium, we only have competition on the highest level. All the other competitions are suspended. And we hope that we can start over in the month of February, but that's not sure. But there is no more competition, but I want to play the game. I always am searching for that winning spirit. I want to compete, I want to win the game. Also, there are no more training sessions. In Belgium, there are only training sessions for the under 12. Indoor, and for the others, okay, maybe you can go outside and play, but there is a restriction of maximum 4 people. So no more training sessions. I need to practice my technical skills. In a lot of countries, the schools are closed. In Belgium, the kids, the children, they still may go to school, but in a lot of other countries, the schools are closed and we're stuck at home. A few days a week I can come to the office to work, but the other days I stay at home. So there is less social contact. So this is important to know, that there are a lot of consequences of Corona. But we have to stay positive. And why do we have to stay positive? You can practice volleyball at home. And how can we do this? Okay, I want to say be creative, but that's another webinar. A few months ago, I gave the webinar, Be Creative with Exercises. How can we be creative? How can we be creative while keeping the distance of 1.5 meters? So we have to be creative, but we still can practice at home. And hopefully in a few weeks, the schools will reopen. In the different countries. And stay positive. Everything will get better. So, Challenges, when we talk about challenges, the challenges make the exercises very interesting. You have to challenge your kids. They're stuck at home, they don't know what to do. You can deliver some exercise, you can create some exercises with different challenges. So what did we do during the first lockdown? We created for CEV challenges at home. As you know, 20 challenges, and every challenge has approximately 5 or 6 exercises. So you have in total, you have more than 120 exercises. We created the ball handling at home. And what is the difference between challenges at home and ball handling at home? For the challenges at home, we used a ball, but also a bucket, a table, an ironing board, etc. For the ball handling at home, we only use different balls. And then in Belgium, there were a lot of clubs with the club challenges. And I have put a picture in my presentation of my new club in Grimbergen near Vilvoorde. So challenges makes life interesting. But there's also another thing, and this is the main reason I want to talk to you about. We created volley at home, because we can still play volleyball at home, in your bedroom, maybe in the kitchen, maybe in the garden, etc. I want to show you a lot of exercises, because to get some inspiration, it's necessary that you find some ideas, that you get some inspiration. You will see the videos, and they are always individual exercises. So everyone can do and use them. What is a big advantage of individual exercises? A big advantage is that there is a permanent focus. You are focused on the ball. You have to focus on the exercise. You don't have time to look around and to wait. No. When you do this individual, you are always permanent focused. So we made a distinction between the exercises for the under 9, under 11, under 13. And for me, it was okay. I'm 46 years old. So they needed a volunteer to do all these exercises. So we looked around, nobody, so it was for the little Belgian guy. So you will see that there will be a demonstration of me performing all these exercises. So a lot of exercises for under 9, under 11, under 13, but also a lot of exercises for under 15, under 17 and seniors. So let's say under 99. So we have a lot of people who can perform these exercises. So next step, there will be 4 main themes. And first one is ball handling. It's very important to control the ball. And then we have 3 other themes. It's the pass, there's the setting skills, and we also have the spiking skills. In total, we have 16 videos available. You see 4 main themes, 16 videos, and a distinction between under 9, under 11, under 13, and under 15, under 99. So we have 4 videos for each theme. And you may have them. So if you already know me, you know I have a certain philosophy. And the philosophy is sharing is caring. I don't need money to give these videos. That's not important. It's very important that if you find the videos interesting, that you can use them for free. We want to see the different children in the different countries to perform these exercises, to find out how can I do this? to find some new ways. Maybe you can create some new exercises by having a look at these videos. Maybe you can use the challenge to do something. Maybe you think, okay, this is something to do in my school. This is something to do in my club. This is something to do at home. And we give these videos because you have to stay positive. And then we're going to have a look at the different videos. So we start with the ball handling. And you will see we will only use balls and tennis balls. So 4 videos with only the ball and the tennis ball. So if a child is stuck at home and he has a ball and he has a tennis ball, he can do all these exercises you will see from the 4 different videos. First video for the under 9, under 11, under 13. And you will see the ball handling part, and we will start very simple. Each video has some text to explain what are we doing at the moment. And you will see there is a difference between the ball we will use for the under 9, under 11, under 13, and the ball we will use for the under 15, under 17, and the senior part. You see it's in a small room. And for me, it was a very good workout. So we filmed the different videos and we did it in 3 days of each 3 or 4 hours. After the first session, muscle pain everywhere, but I'm not in that good shape anymore. So I think for the under 9, under 11, under 13, it will be no problem. And maybe you will recognize some exercises from the challenges at home part. This you can do with a pair of socks. When you have a look at the video of challenges at home, when you have a look in my garden, you will see some of these exercises using a pair of socks. So we started here with only the ball, and now we use only a tennis ball. And then after that, there will be a combination of the different materials. And you see the video is real life. So they didn't film only the best of the best. And they did something else. Sometimes it's too difficult for me, and you will see it. You will see sometimes a smile on my face after a few attempts I managed to do it. Here you can use the wall. But be careful, because in the other room was a person asleep, but he didn't wake up, so it was no problem. So you see, we start only using the ball. Next step, only using the tennis ball, and now the combination ball and tennis ball. And I think it's easy for you to find out how can I do these exercises in my club, can I do this exercise with my children, because there is a lot of text. So this is the idea of the different videos. 1 video down, 15 to go. So you will see we build up the exercises. We start always very simple. And then for those who we had a look at the webinar, Be Creative with Exercises, we manage, or we try to manage to get enough variation. Don't do this at home if you have back problems. This is one of the main reasons why I had muscle pain everywhere the day after we shot this video. You won't see the bloopers. The bloopers, sometimes I made some mistakes. So it was a lot of effort, but we laughed a lot. And it was interesting for me to find out, okay, we had some exercises on paper. And we did the first exercise, and now, okay, and next step, no. On paper it says we do it like this, but in reality we did something else. So when you have a look at the exercise on paper, and when we have the result, you can see over here. It was a difference. I think we kept 25% of the exercises, and all the rest we change it while filming these videos. So it's interesting to see, use your left hand, use your right hand, try to throw the tennis ball in a corner and try to catch it. Throw it with your left hand, try to catch it with the right hand, etc., etc. So this is another idea, but we took some ideas of challenge at home using a towel, and now we use the t-shirt. So, and I want to remind you, when you start very simple, for the children it's easier to build up than when it's too difficult, when you start with an exercise that's too difficult. So, and it's interesting to see when I share this video on the Facebook page of Start to Volley Europe. And I often get some Instagram pictures or Instagram little movies, coaches from other countries, for example, Virginie de Kerner from Finland, and she is doing all the challenges, and sometimes she makes a mistake and she also films. So these are two videos, ball handling for the under 9, under 11, under 13. So maybe you can see, okay, this exercise, oh, it's easy, I can do this. But I want to show you now two videos for ball handling under 15, under 17 seniors. But maybe some of the exercises for the under 9, under 11, under 13 are difficult enough for the older children. Then of course you can use them. It's important to see what the level of the children I train, or what is the level of my group. If the exercises are too easy for under 13, then you can use these exercises. If you think, okay, it's an exercise for under 13, but it's too difficult, okay, make it easier. So you may have everything, but you have to see what is the level of my children. And there is a difference between the level and the biological age of children. So, and you see a lot of exercises using the wall. In Belgium, at a certain point, we told the coaches that the federation is not responsible if the children break anything, like a vase, like a plate, like a bucket. Was a club sending some pictures? Oh, very interesting exercises, but will you pay for the broken buckets? So you see some of the exercises, we start using them under 9, under 11, under 13 in an easy way, and then we use the same ideas, but we make it more difficult. Using a bounce, playing without a bounce, etc. Turning left, turning right. So here the exercises, when I use my left hand, I have to turn left. If I use my right hand, I have to use turn right. This is the same as the exercise for under 9, under 11, under 13, but without a bounce. "20 years ago, it was much easier to to demonstrate these exercises than now. But we had a lot of fun. And you know, for me, that's the main purpose. First reason is try to have fun. Try to create some exercises. Here again, the challenge part. So guys, stay positive. I want to show you, there are a lot of coaches complaining we can't play volleyball anymore. Of course you can play volleyball. You can play volleyball at home. It's another way of playing volleyball. There are some of the coaches in Belgium, they are giving online training sessions. So you can do these exercises in like a Zoom session like we do today. And you can give these exercises. You can use the film. You can demonstrate it by yourself. Next step, only using 2 tennis balls at the same time. Try to catch a tennis ball in each hand. And you see here, it's real life. It was a mistake of me. That's reality. And I think in 10 years, it will be impossible for me to perform this exercise. So while you are looking at these videos, try to be inventive. Try to think about how can I use this in the same way maybe, or how can I use this in a similar way. I think this was take 2 or 3 because the first take I didn't succeed. And again, you always see the explanation of the exercise. At the beginning, I was telling you about the permanent focus. Sometimes you say, watch out, okay, what do we have to do? A point of attention. And this is the idea of moving a lot, permanent focus, because I'm doing it all by myself. Maybe when you're at home with more members of the family, you can create some exercises working with the partner. And you have to communicate because now it's my responsibility. But when I work with a partner, I have to communicate with my partner. But you can use these exercises also with the partner. My partner throws a tennis ball, I have to do the rest with the ball, then we change places. So it's not always only individual exercises, you can do a lot with it. You see here, keep playing against the wall without a bounce. If it's too difficult, you can do it with 1 bounce. You see, I'm working on the first floor. Next step. So first of all, ball handling. And ball handling for me is very important. At the moment I work with under 9, under 11 children. And I often use ball handling. And it's important because when I see training sessions of, for example, 15, 16 years old children, they have a lot of problems with ball handling. They want to play, okay, I want to play volleyball. Ball handling for me, it's not, no, that's not volleyball. For me, it is volleyball. Volleyball is an open sport. You always have to react. You know, sometimes there are situations and you have to react. Not every situation is the same. So next step, passing skills using a chair and using the balls. We start with using only a ball. And the idea is ball handling, we started with 1 arm. Here we start with 2 arms. And you see, okay, let's do a sequence. So you can be creative by using a sequence. You can be creative, or you can give enough variation by using another kind of material. Here we are doing something with a regular ball. You can do it with a beach ball. You can do it by using something completely different. So you see what's the idea. Bumping and clapping, the room is, I think, 2 meters 80, 2 meters 85. So I had to be careful. The bloopers were some balloons popping, making some mistakes. So it was a lot of fun. But you see the idea. The idea is stay home and practice the game. Practice the game at home. You can do a lot of things. So in Belgium, we spread the different videos, and we make they are quite a success, because a lot of clubs say, okay, for under 12 it's no problem to go and to practice, but in a lot of cities the different halls are closed. So it's for some of the clubs, or for a lot of clubs, a problem to deliver some training sessions. That's a big problem. This was for me the best exercise. Rest a little bit by sitting on a chair. So this is another idea. So the passing skills. And then we have the next thing, the different passing skills, part 1 and then part 2. So the part 2 is always, we start on a higher level, using the wall and then playing the ball. Playing left, playing right, and then from a point of attention, open your body. So is it necessary? No, I don't think so. So not in these times. When you're practicing, when you're delivering training sessions, okay, the technical skills are important. But now is, how can I keep playing volleyball? How can I keep doing these exercises? How can I practice the best sport in the world? It's not soccer, it's volleyball. And then the challenge, because if you do only the exercises, it's sometimes a problem, because I have to practice. Okay, I will practice. But when you use some challenges, you can see a sort of competition. You can see something like, okay, this competition, interesting. My teammate, he does it better. Oh, I want to do it better than the rest. I want to be the first one. I want to be the winner. Here, a sequence: 1 arms, 2 arms, 1 arm left. Okay, at the right, starting 2 arms, 1 arm, 2 arm, left, right, etc. Here again the challenge. So you see always a series of exercises, and then after that we have a challenge. And the challenge is not a completely new exercise. It's the idea of the different exercises. So the challenge is a combination of different exercises. So when we do the same for the under 15, under 17 and seniors, we start in another way, another ball. So this is maybe for the under 9, under 11, under 13. Maybe it's the third or the fourth exercise, and here we start. And then sit down on one knee, sit down on the other knee, next switch, etc., etc. So you can say by yourself, okay, and that's all for free. Yes, it's for free. It's important that we can still play the game, that we can, okay, we are stuck at home, but we need to play the game. And how can we help you to play the game? And if it is by giving you these videos, okay, no problem. It's a pleasure to give you these videos. But maybe a challenge for you, coaches and teachers. Try to do some of these exercises. If I can do them, it will be no problem for you. So you see, vice versa. We started on the right side, now we do it on the left side, and once again the challenge. The challenge is more or less the same of the challenge for the under 9, but there is no rest point. You can't take a pause. You have to keep on playing. Don't use a vase. Yes, good job. So it's very interesting to find out how you can do this. So the video is still in order. Second part of the passing skills. Now the first part using left and right. Here we do the same, but standing with one foot on the chair. And then it's really the basic exercises, and then we level up again by playing 1 time, next step playing 3 times, next step, etc., etc., etc. So try to be creative by changing some details. So it's not necessary to invent always other different exercises. You can use the same exercises also at home and change some details. More details here is do the same exercise, and after that, okay, try to catch the ball after 1 bounce. But the exercise stays the same. It's always the same exercise. Try to turn 360 degrees without a chair. Once again, a point of attention. And then at the end, there will be another challenge. So I will challenge you, if you use these exercises, if you use the challenges, film it, take some pictures, send them to me. I'm curious to see if you can manage to do these exercises, if your children find these exercises interesting. The challenge here is a pattern, but not that simple. So first, before filming, I tried to do this, and if I thought by myself, okay, I will succeed, then we filmed it after that. So 8 down, 8 to go. We have a lot to see. Next step, the setting skills, and okay, I think some of you are wondering, and the balloons, because in Northern Ireland they call me the balloon boy because I often use balloons. So for these exercises we will use the ball and the balloons. So first step, and okay, we share everything, and sometimes there are some points of criticism. Yeah, but why doesn't he use his left foot or his right foot? He doesn't play it correctly. Hey guys, I'm 46 years and I'm playing in a room. So when I did this 20 years ago, or maybe it will be a better demonstration, but that's not the idea. The idea is to give you a lot of inspiration, to give you a lot of exercises. That's the only thing. We want you to give something, and if you find it useful, okay, then you can use it. But if you don't find it useful, no problem. I know my hands are not in a proper way, but it was impossible to do this in that room. And here we go again. The balloon boy is busy. For the coaches of Northern Ireland, I'm back. So left, right, the coordination, watching a balloon, you have more time to react. With a regular ball, you have less time to react. And you see the idea. Some of the coaches say, oh, a balloon is useless. I don't think so. I disagree. So you see we can do a lot of things with a ball and a balloon. So if you think about how can I create some new exercises for volley at home in my country, in my school, I'll try to think in a very simple way. It doesn't have to be very complex. If it's simple, okay, it will be no problem. So next step, set under 9, under 11, under 13. Okay, there is a balloon. So acting, reacting, to see the permanent focus of the old guy. Stay with your feet on the ground. One foot in front. Now right foot, then left foot in front. Right foot, left foot in front. So a lot of inspiration, a lot of creativity. Tap the balloon and then pass the ball between the legs with one bounce. And if it's necessary, you can adjust it by dribbling. Only using the ball and the wall, and a bit of explanation. Dribble left, which foot in front, which foot behind, etc., etc. And then there is one of the principles is before, during, after. And the after part is tap the wall. Again, the point of attention. And at the end of the series exercises, the challenge. And you see the challenge is an exercises from the series, and then the after part. After that, try to hit the balloon, but be very gentle, else it will pop. So the senior part, or for the 6 versus 6 part, the setting part. Set your ball against the wall while resting, and the resting part was very important for me. I know my hands are not in the best order, but that's not important for me. So if you want perfect technical skills, I will use next time one of the Belgian players like Sam de Roo, Hendrik Tuurlings, or Ilke van de Vijver, Freya Albrecht. But that's not important. The volley at home part is a part of start to volley and the beginning of playing volleyball. How can we give enough exercises? We don't do over the same exercises over and over again. And you see the good workout. There was one guy filming and another guy telling me what to do, and I was sweating a lot, but no problem. The COVID period is not the best period for a good shape. Okay, and still everything okay, so I hope it will be the same for the last 3 videos I have to show you. Second part of setting skill. And you can tap the balloon with the ball, but you can do it the other way around. Tap the ball with the balloon. Some of the coaches, some of children are afraid of balloons. But a few weeks ago, I talked to a Belgian coach, and she told me I'm also afraid of balloons. So I have to say some of the children and some of the coaches are afraid of balloons. And you see the explanation. Try to tap twice with your balloon. So little details, always little details. The after part, tap the wall with your hand. You can say tap first, voila, with your left hand, then with your right hand, etc. etc. This was very difficult for me. Because of the height of the room. There was not that much space. Then we lose the balloon and we continue by only using the ball. But you see the idea, it's more or less the same while using a balloon and the ball, but now we do it only by using the ball. And then at the end, it will be again the challenge. So we have the ball handling part. You know, it's very important, not only for the youngest children, but also for the adults. We have the passing skills. Here we have the setting skills. When you do this in a hole, you can create higher. You can create something higher, but now it was not important. Important, it was impossible. So, and the last part will be the spiking skill. Because when you ask something, if you ask to children, what do you like most? Most of the children will say, I like to hit the ball. So for this, we will use the badminton shuttle. We will use some buckets. And again, tennis ball and the regular ball. So you will see it's, for the organization, it's very simple. Take a bucket, take some badminton shuttles, the balls, and the tennis balls. So, okay, it's possible to organize it. You don't need a lot of preparation to get some buckets. So you see real life, a lot of attempts, but don't succeed often, I think. So standing up, do the same exercise while sitting down. Move forward, backwards. using the tennis ball and throw it over a table or plank. You can also use a table, but in that room there was no table available, so we made a table by using 2 chairs. Try to control it, and then next step, using the ball, point of attention, and keep focus on aiming. You're not only hitting the ball, you're also aiming. And then at the end, we have a challenge. So in total, we have 16 challenges. If it's too difficult, you instead of hitting, you can start by throwing the ball. So next part of spiking for under 9, under 11, under 13. Another series of exercises. So if you didn't have enough inspiration, I hope that you have now a lot of inspiration and you can use a lot of these exercises. Instead of hitting the ball, hit the badminton shuttle. You can start with right hand, or for the left-handed, you can start with the left hand and then other hand. Now switch. So you know the idea. First step this, next step that, third step, and over and over and over. Hit 2 times, next step do the same but hit it once. When you hit it 2 times, you have more time than when you hit it once. Do the same with the tennis ball instead of badminton shuttle and with the regular ball. You can start over, you can start by only using the tennis ball and then the ball and then the combination. So this is not the end, this is a part of some examples of exercises, but you can create a lot of new exercises by only seeing these videos. And that's why we like to share these things. Well, for us, it's very interesting to see how others create some variations, create some new exercises by seeing something. So this is okay, we do something with the tennis ball and then we do the same exercise, or more or less the same exercise with the regular ball. Try to control, and also in these exercises there's some ball handling. For me, it's the big hand. When we do the setting skills, there's the big hands. So for the under 9, under 11, try to do the same. The previous challenge was doing this exercise with a regular ball. Here we do this exercise with a tennis ball. 2 more to go, and no technical problems anymore. It's a big relief for me. So, spiking skills. I like to spike. And here is the badminton shuttle, and you see, keep a badminton shuttle in the air. Next step. Drop it in a bucket, but the poor Belgian guy, he doesn't succeed a lot. Next step, you have to pick up the bucket. You see the permanent focus. Now it's always with my right hand, but you can switch. This is hitting the shuttle against the wall. So we did this exercise with the regular ball. We did it with the tennis ball. And now we are doing it with a badminton shuttle. And here we go again. We grab a ball and we play against the wall. This is only using the right hand, but you can switch right, left, right, left. And then you can create a challenge, right, left, right, left. And then we have the last video for today, because I want to have enough time for the questions. I see a lot of questions in the chat. Thank you for that. Last part is hitting the badminton shuttle with your dominant hand and then tap it with the ball. So you can do this with the, instead of a badminton shuttle, you can use a tennis ball. You can make this easier. I don't think you have to make it more difficult, because it is difficult enough. If you're not warmed up, don't do this exercise by using your foot. You see, real life, it's not that easy to catch the badminton shuttle at the end. So you see again, and that's the idea, that's the main idea. I like to work it in this way, always simple, another exercise combination, and in this way you can create a lot of exercise. We make it easy by using a bounce. We make it more difficult without a bounce. And then you also have the after part. Tap the wall with the ball and try to catch the badminton shuttle. Two people in the back watching and saying, okay, we're glad that you were the volunteer, but it's not for us. So maybe you can try it in the office. Why not? And at the end, we will have the challenge. And then we will come at the end of 16 videos with a lot of inspiration. I hope it will be a lot of inspiration. And the idea for today was to prove that you can do all these exercises at home, because a lot of coaches are saying it's impossible to do something at home. We want to prove that it is possible to do something at home. So good luck, and at the end of the presentation I like to say once more again, stay positive, because better days are on their way, and I hope that 21 will be much better than 2020. So this was the end of the presentation, but I see a lot of questions.
Yes, okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Kristof. It was very, very interesting and inspiring as usual. Time is flying, you know, so I propose that we continue right now with the questions from the participants. And I have a first question. One of the first words of your presentation is challenge. And we know that the kids, they like challenge, but do you sometimes receive feedback from the kids when they make those exercises at home? that at some point they are demotivated, or they lose motivation, or they don't manage to make those exercises? And what is your suggestion after that to?
Yeah, but it's when you create exercises, you have to be realistic. If you create challenges and they are not realistic, children are disappointed. You have to create challenges. If I try to do something and I succeeded 7 of the 10 times, okay, that's realistic. But when you create a challenge and it's too difficult and I succeed 4 of 10 times, that's disappointing. Maybe you have to think about if it's sometimes it's necessary for you and you and you. Okay, you have this challenge. For you and you and you have more or less the same challenge, but we make it more or less easier. So there is, children have different levels. They have not always the same technical skills. So it's important to find out, can I give the same challenge for each of my players? Or maybe I have to give different challenges. And for example, a challenge for the better kids without the bounce, and for the others with the bounce. And then the challenge is equal for everybody.
Okay. Second question, Kristof. For the kids who don't have their own volleyball at home, what kind of challenges or exercise could a club or a coach propose that they do? I mean, exercises without balls.
Exercises without balls.
Yeah.
Okay, that's no problem. So because I was telling you about the challenges at home. It was an idea we had with CEV development. How can we do something? We don't have materials at home. How can I do something at home? So on the CEV website, and I think on YouTube, you have to find about the challenges at home. Everybody normally has a pair of socks. I created some exercise by only using a pair of socks. Maybe there is something else you can use. There were some challenges by using a broom. There were some challenges by using a table. Try to climb on the table. Try to run around, etc., etc. So have a look at your home. You're stuck at home. What can we use? Not the plates, not the glasses. No, don't do that. But there are some things you can use if you don't have a ball. Of make a little kind of ball by some newspapers. So this is some ideas. Put some newspaper in a sock and you can do something. So you have to be creative. You have to find out, is there something at home I can use? During these challenges of doing this volley at home, you've seen the same exercises with other materials. So you have to be creative and find out from, okay, maybe I can use a shirt, maybe I can use something else. Try to think about how can I use something from my room, from the kitchen.
Again, it's being creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The keywords, the two keywords. Be creative.
Kristof, last question for you. How do you keep your, how do you do to be so creative? I think, in other words, the question is, what is your secret to be so creative, and where do you find your ideas and inspiration?
In different ways. So first of all, creativity is, like I told you before, is change some details, change the materials, change working alone, working in pairs. So when I see an exercise, from another coach, I'm thinking, how can I use this? How can I get enough variation so I don't copy it? I try to find out how can I change a detail? How can I do something else with it? How can I use another material? So now we are working with beach balls and indiakas, and you will see some of the exercise. You will recognize them from before, but with other materials. So the idea is always find out how can I do, for example, the same exercise with another material. How can I change one thing? How can I change one thing so it becomes something different? How can I change, for example, the situation? Working in pairs or yeah, playing in a room. So, okay, it's a room with a height of 2 meter 80, 2 meter 85. So I have to adapt. I have to change. I have to do some modifications. So, but it's always, you don't want to look in my head. You don't want to look in my head because I'm the little stupid Belgian guy and I'm always thinking about how can I do this. It's always thinking about. It's learning from other coaches. It's watching YouTube. Um, it's talking about the other coaches. It's always. I'm always thinking of how can I use this. So this is my secret.